In this video, I'll be showing you exactly how you can install and play Nintendo DS and Game Boy Advance ROMs on your modded Nintendo 3DS, as well as adding your DS games directly onto the home screen. So once your 3DS is modded, you will have a bunch of new applications which will appear on the home screen. And for today we will be using Universal Updater to get all of the tools that we need to be able to do this. So go ahead and open that up. Now if it's the first time that you have opened Universal Updater, or if you haven't used it for quite some time, it will do a small update which will probably take a minute or two. But once it is fully up to date, you should come to a screen that looks like this one. And there's three things that we're going to want to grab from here. The first one is directly just down here. It is Twilightmenu++. So you'll want to click A on this, and then if you press A again, it will download and install. Generally takes around about 10 to 15 minutes, just depending on the model of Nintendo 3DS that you have. But once you have went ahead and done that, you will then want to install the application that is right next to it here called DSforwarder packs, and that will be installed in the same way. And once you have forwarder packs installed, you'll want to come a little bit further down and you will find an icon that looks like this. It's like a big wheel thing. You're going to want to click that. It's called NDS Forwarder, and you'll want to install this application as well. Now, once you have all three things from Universal Updater installed, you can come out of here. I'm going to close that down. And what you should see is that Twilightmenu will have appeared on your home screen. Obviously, I already had it installed, so mine's already there. But once you see that, you're going to want to go ahead and open this up. Now, if it's the first time that you have opened Twilightmenu, will take a few moments just to create all of the necessary files, and that is the sole reason why we are opening it up. So if you already had it installed prior to watching this video, you won't need to do this. But once it's opened up and created all of the necessary files, you can come out of it. Now it generally does take 30 seconds or so to close, as it's booting directly into the Nintendo DS part of the operating system. Now, once you have come out of Twilightmenu, it is at this point that you will want to put the DS or Game Boy Advance ROMs onto your SD card. Now, there's a number of different ways you can do this. You can do this directly onto the 3DS if you download an application known as Ghost eShop. Now, Ghost eShop isn't all that reliable, so it isn't my preferred method of acquiring DS or Game Boy Advance ROMs. But you can search on Google for how to acquire them and how to install them onto your SD card. But once you have Twilightmenu, you will see on the SD card itself that it will create a number of different folders, and within you will find the location of where you should save your ROMs. Now the folder that it will create will be this one here called ROMs, and within there you will see a number of other folders which will be named relevant to the corresponding system. So in our case, we would want to put our files in the Game Boy Advance folder and in the DS folder, which is a little further down, the NDS folder. Now, once you have the ROMs in the corresponding folders, you will want to come into the homebrew launcher, which you'll find back on the home screen. So if we just go ahead and open this, and what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be adding the Nintendo DS games onto the home screen. So there's an application that you'll see here which we installed earlier, which is NDS forwarder generator. And we're just going to click that. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to navigate to your ROMs folder and down to NDS and find the game that you want to add. So for this example, we're going to be doing Pokemon Platinum. So we're just going to click A on that and click yes. And we can see the install is as fast as that. Now you'll want to repeat that process for all of the Nintendo DS games that you want to add to the home screen. And you should note that this will only work for Nintendo DS games. It won't work for the Game Boy Advance or Game Boy games. So just bear that in mind. But upon coming out of the software, you will see that a new software has been added to the home screen. And if we just unwrap that, we'll be able to see that we now have Pokemon Platinum on our home screen. So if we just go ahead and open that up. One small thing just to bear in mind is that it will take a little bit longer than it usually does to load up a Nintendo 3DS game. This is simply because the Nintendo 3DS actually has two operating systems and two separate processors, one for the 3DS and one for the DS, and it's simply just taking a bit longer to boot into the DS operating system. But as you can see here, we have Pokemon Platinum version running directly from the home screen. Now for the Game Boy Advance games, for the ROMs, you will want to play these directly through Twilightmenu, so I will just quickly show you how you can do that now. So once you're back on the home screen, you will come into Twilightmenu and open that up. And we'll just let that boot up. Now I should also note that you can also access the Nintendo DS games through Twilightmenu if you don't want to put them onto the home screen. As you can see, I'm already in the Nintendo DS folder, so they've loaded up directly for me. If we just come over to Game Boy Advance, we can see I've got a number of different, I've got a couple of different ROMs on here. I've got Pokemon Emerald and the Emerald ROM hack. Shout out to Smith Plays. Now the GBA ROMs will run through GBA Runner 2, which is an emulator. What I would suggest is if you want to emulate Game Boy Advance games, is you're probably going to want to acquire a GBA BIOS file from somewhere. And you simply just add this onto the SD card in the GBA folder. But that is going to be it for this video. If you have any questions or any further things that you'd like to see me cover, let me know in the comment section below. But until then, thanks for watching.